Listen carefully. You could devour every book ever written, binge-watch endless videos, and repeat to yourself 1,000 affirmations saying you love yourself. But if you fail to grasp this single truth, that love you crave will always slip through your fingers. Today I won't drown you in theories. Today, I'm handing you a key. A truth Carl Jung unearthed, one that can forever transform how you see yourself and everyone around you. Are you ready to really see it? If you're here now, it's because something inside you already senses there's a deeper layer to this life. This isn't just about embracing your shadow or balancing your inner energies. It's about living these ideas so fully that your life begins to shift from the inside out. By the end of this, you won't just hold a clearer understanding of why feeling truly loved seems impossible. You'll hold a practical method to renew how you relate to yourself and, through that, to everyone you touch. Remember this, your relationships don't appear at random. What you're drawn to or repulsed by in others is only a reflection of what inside you still waits to be seen. Think back to the last person who stirred something raw in you. Was it passion? Annoyance? That person is more than a character passing through your days. They are a mirror exposing pieces of you you've long buried. Maybe you're pulled towards those who leave you feeling uncertain, or maybe you keep butting heads with people who show traits you can't stand in yourself. Today you'll learn to use that mirror to find the hidden corners of your being that ache for light and healing. Until you do, you'll wander endlessly, seeking love in places that cannot give it back to you. So ask not, why does this person act like this? The real question is, what is this person revealing about who I am? This idea, the relational mirror, is far more profound than it seems at first glance. Whenever someone provokes a strong reaction in you, you're looking straight at your own shadow in disguise. Trace the patterns in your connections. Do you always find yourself attracted to similar traits, or do you consistently avoid certain people? Both are telling you something vital. Attraction and aversion are two halves of the same truth. Both point you inward. When someone pulls you in deeply, pause and ask, what quality in them do I long for? Perhaps it's their freedom, their wildness, their ease. Maybe you crave these because you've locked yourself inside structure and rules for too long. Likewise, when someone grates on you, pinpoint exactly what it is. Could it be you hold that same peace inside, but deny it? Maybe you bristle at someone's arrogance because deep inside you fear your own hidden pride. This level of honesty can crack you open, but it's the doorway to transformation. You must be ruthlessly honest, willing to see every edge of yourself you've tried to shove out of sight. Here, true healing begins. The hardest people in your life? They might be your greatest teachers. The one who irritates you endlessly may hold the key to a piece of you you've locked away. It's no accident certain people appear in your path again and again. They're messengers guiding you back to wholeness. Remember, as others reflect parts of you, you are also a mirror for them. When you understand this, compassion grows. When someone reacts badly to you, often it isn't you they're reacting to, it's the piece of themselves they see in you. Instead of rising to defend yourself, you can meet them with understanding. And the goal isn't to merely spot these patterns, but to shift them. Once you see what a difficult connection reflects, you begin to heal that fragment within. As you integrate these neglected pieces, your relationships naturally evolve. This is not instant magic. Don't expect overnight miracles. Watch your emotions like a scientist observes an experiment, not with judgment but with sincere curiosity. With time, the people who once triggered your deepest reactions will lose that power over you. Healthier bonds will appear, not by force but by resonance. Instead of pulling people who echo your wounds, you'll call in those who mirror your healed self. You'll stop searching outside for what you think you lack inside. Instead, you'll build connections rooted in wholeness, not dependency. True love can only flourish when you stand whole within yourself. When you offer love from wholeness, not emptiness, your relationships shift from desperate seeking to spaces for genuine growth. You no longer need someone else to patch your cracks, because you have made peace with your own reflection. Here's a truth many resist. The parts of yourself you reject are the very parts wrecking your closest bonds. You can't fully give or receive love if you refuse to accept the full truth of who you are. Think about the parts of yourself you hide, the flaws you judge, the traits you wish weren't yours. That is your shadow. As long as it remains unseen, you will keep projecting these hidden pieces onto everyone around you. Maybe arrogance drives you mad in others. Look closer, it's likely you secretly fear your own pride being revealed. Or you're drawn to those who diminish you, because somewhere deep, you don't yet believe you're big enough to stand in your own power. The path is not about purging darkness to become perfect. It's about welcoming every part so you become whole. Only when you claim your entire self can you offer authentic love and accept it in return. Your shadow isn't only your dark impulses, it holds your unclaimed gifts too. Ignore parts of yourself, and you fracture your being. This invisible split blocks you from the deep connection you crave. But when you gather every piece back into your arms, you stop hunting for love outside yourself. You become love, and connection unfolds naturally. Every time you judge another harshly, you're facing your own reflection. The qualities that repulse you in others highlight what you haven't yet owned within yourself. Watch your strongest reactions, they're bright arrows pointing you inward. Maybe you despise weakness because you're terrified of your own softness. Or you sneer at ambition because you haven't let yourself admit your own hunger for success. Your shadow shapes your desires too. We're magnetized to people who freely show what we've buried. If you feel an overpowering pull towards those who dominate a room, ask if there's a spark in you longing to lead, to command. If you keep rescuing broken birds, maybe it's your own hidden wish to be nurtured. These patterns sabotage our relationships quietly but relentlessly. Fear of abandonment makes you push people away before they can leave. Fear of control turns simple suggestions into battlegrounds. These defenses are the armor of your unintegrated shadow. Bringing light to these shadows calls for courage. The first step is to see them without punishing yourself. When someone rattles you, ask, where does that same trait live in me? Not to blame, but to understand. Integration happens when you express these exiled pieces in safe ways. If you've smothered your creativity, give it room to breathe. If you deny your need for closeness, dare to open up to trusted souls. Over time, these once feared parts transform from hidden saboteurs to new sources of strength. Try writing a letter to your shadow. Acknowledge its presence, thank it for trying to shield you, and declare your wish to welcome it back with kindness. This inner dialogue can be the beginning of a truce, an inner homecoming that ends the war with yourself. Here lies the paradox. Embracing your darkness makes you shine brighter. By claiming your flaws, you step into your truest self. Authenticity is magnetic. It attracts real connection like nothing else can. The richest, most satisfying relationships happen when two whole people come together, shadows and all. You don't need a partner to fill your gaps. You arrive already full. You no longer spill your unspoken fears onto someone else's shoulders, because you've made peace with them. Relationships are more than comfort. They're your greatest classroom. Each conflict, each spark, each heartbreak is a lesson in self-knowledge if you dare to look inward. Love is not a finish line you cross. It's a path that leads you deeper into yourself, again and again. Until you grasp this, you will repeat the same patterns. Look at the cycles you're stuck in. If you always feel abandoned, there's an old wound demanding your attention. If you cling to people for safety, it's because part of you still feels unsafe in your own skin. Love must become your teacher, not just your goal. When you treat love only as pleasure or escape, you strip it of its deeper power. Relationships are the rawest mirrors you'll ever face. Every person who stirs your soul comes with a lesson. Ignore it, and the pattern repeats. The faces change, but the story stays the same. When you trace your romantic history, you'll see the same themes winding through different names. Maybe you're forever drawn to distant souls. Maybe you keep choosing partners who crave saving. These repetitions aren't bad luck, they're signposts pointing inward. Your earliest bonds taught you what love looks like. If love was unstable back then, you'll chase instability now, because familiar pain feels safer than unfamiliar peace. Seeing this is the first step to change. Romantic love's real purpose isn't simply to make you happy, though happiness can bloom from it, but to reveal the hidden layers of who you are. In the intimacy of a relationship, your deepest fears, defenses, and long-silenced desires come alive. Love isn't just about finding the right partner, it's about becoming the person who can love with depth, courage, and clarity. When arguments flare up, don't waste your energy asking, "Who's to blame?" Instead, lean in and ask, "What is this teaching me about myself?" Maybe the harsh sting of a simple comment exposes an insecurity you'd rather not see. Maybe your need to control is a mask for your buried terror of being abandoned. These moments, though uncomfortable, are seeds of wisdom, gifts for anyone brave enough to grow. Even your strongest attractions are guides. The qualities you admire obsessively in someone else often mirror pieces of you waiting to be freed. If you idolize someone's wild spirit, maybe your own wildness is asking to breathe. If you're hypnotized by someone's creative spark, perhaps your inner artist is begging for light. Your biggest crushes aren't accidents, they're maps pointing to your unexplored potential. Heartbreak, too, holds a hidden blessing. When love breaks, you face a choice: blame your ex and repeat the cycle, or turn inward and ask, "What was I meant to see?" That single choice decides whether you harden into bitterness or soften into wisdom. Mature love doesn't chase perfection in another person, it seeks mutual expansion. When two souls join with this mindset, the relationship stops being about plugging holes and starts being about becoming more. Each struggle becomes an invitation to break old limits, to heal old wounds, and to rise together. Paradoxically, when you treat love as a path of growth, the happiness you once begged for arrives on its own, deeper, steadier, more real. You don't need flawless circumstances or an ideal partner to feel whole. You find richness in the process, the daily practice of seeing yourself through the mirror your partner offers you. This is where the shift happens. Stop repeating, "I always pick the wrong partner," and start asking, "Why do I keep choosing them?" This tiny change flips your story from victimhood to empowerment. Suddenly, you're not just drifting through patterns, you're creating your relationships consciously. But this path asks for courage. It demands that you shine a light into your own dark corners, question your oldest beliefs, and shed the old identities that no longer serve you. The payoff? Realer relationships, deeper self-knowledge, love that comes from freedom instead of fear. Why do you end up with the same kind of partner every time? The root lies hidden in your subconscious. These repetitive dramas aren't random, they're signposts pointing to what still needs healing. If you're forever magnetized to those who hurt you, an old wound is begging for your attention. If you chase validation endlessly, there's a hidden part of you that still feels invisible and unworthy. Toxic patterns spin on repeat like a song stuck on loop. Maybe the faces change, but the melody doesn't. It's not a curse, it's your brain's wiring at work. What you learned about love in childhood etched deep grooves into your nervous system. If love back then was tied to pleasing others, today you might bend and twist yourself to win approval. If affection once came tangled with criticism, you may feel strangely at home in conflict now. There's a reason we say, "What's familiar feels safe." Your brain clings to what it knows, even if what it knows hurts you. That's why someone can leave one painful relationship only to stumble right into another that looks suspiciously the same. Breaking this loop begins with awareness. Look at your past relationships like a detective. What scenes keep playing out? Do you always feel abandoned? Do you lose yourself in the other person? Do you keep falling for those who can't truly show up for you? These are not accidents, they are clues. Behind each toxic cycle lies a buried belief. If betrayal dogs your steps, maybe you secretly believe you're not worth loyalty. If you feel controlled again and again, maybe you doubt your power to steer your own life. Science backs this up. These aren't just psychological patterns, they're neural pathways etched deeper each time you repeat them. To break them, you have to carve new trails. Notice your triggers, the moments that spark oversized reactions. Maybe your partner's harmless silence stirs a primal fear of being left behind. Maybe a stray comment about your looks shreds your self-esteem. These triggers crack open your core wounds, but they also show you where to heal. Healing comes when you stop blaming others or fate. It's not about fault, it's about ownership. As long as you see yourself as a victim of life, you're chained to the same old loops. Power returns when you stand up and say, "This is mine to change." Recognize the signals your body sends you, because relationship patterns live in your body too. That rush of anxiety when a toxic type walks in? The familiar pull of drama that feels like love? These are your body's old comfort zones. But every time you feel the pull, you have a choice. Do you surrender to the old, or do you reach for the new? Boundaries are your new anchor. They're not walls, they're bridges to a healthier you. If you tend to vanish inside your partner's world, create rituals to stay rooted in yourself. If you keep attracting narcissists, define exactly what you will no longer allow. Every boundary you hold firm is an act of self-love that breaks the cycle. True change happens when you bravely choose what's unfamiliar, even if every cell in your body screams for the old pattern. If you've always clung to dramatic, unpredictable love, then a calm, steady bond may at first feel dull. That unease is proof you're creating new pathways, rewiring your brain for a kind of love that doesn't drain you but nourishes you. Breaking these cycles isn't a single heroic act, it's an ongoing commitment. You'll feel the urge to slide back into what's known. Old wounds will whisper, old cravings will tug. But every time you see the pattern and choose differently, you strengthen the new way forward. Neuroplasticity works in your favor. Each new, conscious choice lays fresh tracks in your mind and heart. The goal isn't perfect relationships, it's the freedom to choose them with eyes wide open. When you're no longer ruled by the ghosts of your past, you attract connections that reflect who you are becoming, not who you used to be. You love from wholeness, not hunger. And in that wholeness, real love roots itself deeply and grows. Genuine love isn't something you stumble upon, it's something you build. When you give yourself unconditional love, you stop seeking scraps from others. You become the wellspring, and your relationships stop being desperate quests for what you lack. Love no longer feels like a prize to win or a secret to unlock, it becomes your natural state. And when you show up whole, you draw in others who do the same. This is the quiet revolution Carl Jung's wisdom ignites, that the self you reject holds the seeds of your freedom. Integration isn't about fixing yourself, it's about seeing that you were never broken. Those hidden parts you've disowned, the anger, the envy, the wild ambition, the tenderness you've suppressed, they're not flaws to be banished but energies to be embraced, understood, and guided. Every harsh judgment you cast on someone else is a breadcrumb trail back to you. Notice the traits that make you recoil. Within them lies a piece of you waiting to be met. Maybe you scorn someone's fragility because you haven't forgiven your own. Or you roll your eyes at someone's need for praise because you still secretly crave to be seen. This is the mirror at the heart of all your connections. What irritates you, attracts you, unsettles you, it's all a reflection. The people in your life are not random. They are signposts and messengers, each one holding up a piece of the puzzle. When you grasp this, conflict loses its power to ruin you, it becomes a teacher instead. Try this. Next time someone pushes your buttons, pause the reflex to judge. Ask instead, what in me feels exposed? Maybe your partner's stubbornness triggers you because you've long buried your own fierce will. Maybe your friend's constant bragging grates on you because deep down you hunger for recognition too. Integration means giving safe expression to these exiled parts. If you fear your power, find spaces where you can stand tall without apology. If you hide your softness, practice letting trusted people see your vulnerable heart. Each step dissolves the walls that keep you divided from yourself. One simple yet profound ritual: speak to your shadow as an old friend. Write to it, thank it for trying to guard you, promise to listen now instead of silencing it. This act alone can soften the war inside you. The beauty of this path is the paradox it reveals. The more you accept your imperfection, the more whole you become. Wholeness isn't about being flawless, it's about being real. When you stand in your full humanity, your brilliance and your mess, you become magnetic. Others feel safe to be real with you, too. Love then becomes an exchange of truth, not masks. Two whole people, each carrying light and shadow, meeting without demand, without grasping. You no longer clutch at someone to fill your emptiness. You bring your fullness and share it freely. Every fight, every heartbreak, every friction becomes a doorway. Life stops punishing you with the same lessons and starts revealing new depths. Love turns from a painful mystery to a conscious practice, a daily choice to see, to learn, to open. If you want love that lasts, you must see love as a mirror. If you want connection that heals, you must stop hiding the parts of you that ache for light. If you want freedom, you must stand naked to yourself, flaws and all, and realize you are enough now, not someday. Your deepest relationships won't just soothe you, they'll expand you. They'll test you, challenge you, polish you until you stand strong in your truth. And you'll know you're on this path when you no longer beg for love, but simply become it, a presence that needs nothing yet gives everything. The journey home is always inward. The answers you chase in others live in the places you fear to look inside yourself. But once you dare, you unlock the door to a kind of love that cannot be taken away, because it was never outside of you to begin with. Love is not a distant prize waiting to be earned, it is a force that awakens when you remember you are already whole. So many people chase love like thirsty wanderers crossing a desert, blind to the oasis within. You are the source you've been seeking. And this shift, from searching to embodying, is what sets you free. When you stop demanding that others complete you, you invite them to meet you as equals. Your relationships no longer become transactions for comfort or worth, they transform into sacred spaces for truth. You do not hide parts of yourself to be liked. You do not twist your spirit to fit someone's expectations. You stand rooted in your own being, unashamed of your shadows, radiant in your light. This is where the wisdom of Jung still whispers, your darkness is not your enemy, it is your raw material for transformation. The same anger you fear might ruin you can fuel your boundaries. The same envy you bury can reveal your secret longings. The same neediness you despise can remind you that you are human, wired for connection, deserving of care. When you accept your inner world with open arms, you stop bleeding your wounds onto others. You see clearly where you end and they begin. You love people for who they are, not for how they patch up your loneliness. And paradoxically, in that freedom, intimacy deepens. You no longer cling, you choose. You do not need, you want. You give not to get, but because love is what you are. One of the greatest acts of self-love is learning to sit with discomfort. When that old panic rises, the fear of being alone, the urge to chase, the temptation to shrink, pause. Breathe. Witness it. This is your shadow knocking. Instead of fleeing, invite it in. Ask, what are you here to show me? This simple question can dissolve decades of unconscious reaction. Watch how your patterns try to reassert themselves. Maybe you feel pulled to that same kind of partner, emotionally distant, intoxicating, always out of reach. Maybe you're tempted to chase, to prove, to fix. But now you see the loop. You can choose the unfamiliar path, the calm voice inside that says, no more. You can wait for the kind of connection that matches your wholeness, not your wounds. And when you find it, don't expect it to be perfect. True love isn't flawless, it's real. It brings up every hidden fear you carry so that you can set it free. Real love will mirror your insecurities, your pride, your unhealed stories. This is not a sign of failure, it's the work. It's what makes your bond resilient. It's what grows you both. Remember, every trigger, every fight, every misunderstanding is a chance to choose presence over projection. To say, what part of me feels hurt? How can I hold it instead of hurling it? To say, what do I really need, and how can I give it to myself first? The longer you practice this, the lighter love becomes. You stop holding your partner hostage for your happiness. You stop making them responsible for wounds they never caused. You stand beside them, not beneath or above, but as two humans, walking each other home. Carl Jung's gift was to remind us that what we resist persists. Your shadow does not disappear when ignored, it grows claws in the dark. But when you turn and face it, when you greet it with compassion and curiosity, it loses its power to control you. It softens. It integrates. It becomes your ally. Imagine this, a relationship where two people accept the fullness of who they are. No masks. No desperate need to be perfect. Just a raw, honest dance of light and shadow, giving and receiving, seeing and being seen. This is not a fairy tale. It is what's possible when you stop searching for love outside and start cultivating it inside. And this is the paradox Jung would smile at. By embracing what you fear most about yourself, you discover what makes you most lovable. You stop living like a puzzle with missing pieces. You become whole, and in that wholeness, you magnetize people who see your truth, not your mask. So, the next time you find yourself longing for someone to love you, pause and turn that longing inward. Speak to the parts you hide. Whisper to the wounds you deny. Say, I see you. I accept you. I love you. This is where real transformation begins. When you live this truth, you no longer chase love, you radiate it. You do not beg to be chosen. You choose yourself every day. And in that self-choosing, you teach the world how to love you back. So ask yourself now, are you willing to meet your own shadow with compassion? Are you willing to break the patterns, one conscious choice at a time? Are you ready to love not from hunger, but from wholeness? Because the moment you do, love stops being something you hunt for. It becomes who you are. Maybe now you see it clearer than ever. The mirror is everywhere. In your parents' old patterns. In the partner who triggers your deepest fears. In the friend whose flaws irritate you the most. Each reflection is an invitation, not to judge, not to run, but to lean in and ask, what part of this is mine to own? There is nothing passive about this path. It's not soft or vague or just philosophical. It's demanding. It will ask you to sit in silence when you'd rather distract yourself. It will pull you back inside when every habit tells you to escape outward. But this is the only way the loops break, by staying present with your oldest pain, your oldest defense. Don't expect perfection from yourself. You will slip. You will forget. You will catch yourself mid-pattern, mid-projection. That's human. What matters is that you notice, that you choose differently one more time than you don't. Each new choice weakens the old circuit. Each moment of awareness lays a new foundation. One day, you'll look back and realize, the people who used to drain you no longer have hooks in you. The same traits that once made your chest tighten no longer have that same hold. The attraction to chaos fades. The addiction to being needed or needing fades. You don't fight to prove your worth. You live it. The self you meet on the other side is not a perfect saint who never gets triggered. It's a whole person, still flawed, still learning, but no longer at war within. The fear that you're too much or not enough starts to quiet down. In its place, a gentle certainty grows. You belong to yourself now. And because you belong to yourself, you can share your heart freely without fear of losing it. Remember, the people who match your healed self may not look like the people you used to crave. You may feel bored at first. Where's the chaos, the spark, the chase? But stick with it. Give your nervous system time to adapt to healthy love, to steady presence, to kindness that doesn't keep you guessing. What feels dull at first may be peace, and peace is a soil where true passion can grow roots. In the end, the greatest freedom is realizing you don't need another person to complete your story. You are not half of anything. You are whole. Two whole people can come together not out of desperate longing, but out of genuine desire to witness each other's becoming. That is love as Jung saw it, an alchemy of souls, a fire that burns away illusion and reveals truth. So here you are now, holding this key, this mirror. You can keep seeking love outside, hoping to find it in the eyes of someone else, or you can turn inward, meet your own gaze, and discover you've always carried it within you. The next time you catch yourself wanting someone to fix you, stop. The next time you feel the urge to run from discomfort, pause. Ask, what is this showing me? Then listen, not with judgment, but with curiosity. That is where the transformation lives. If you take nothing else from this, remember, you don't have to be perfect to be worthy. You don't have to silence your darkness to deserve light. And you don't have to beg for scraps of love when you realize you are already love itself. May you stand whole, in your shadow, in your brilliance, in your wild truth. May you let every relationship polish you, stretch you, break you open, and build you again. And may you see, every day, that the greatest relationship you'll ever have is the one you cultivate with your own soul. Because when you finally come home to yourself, every other love becomes a choice, not a chain. Leave us your opinion in the comments. It is very valuable for us to know your point of view. Don't forget to subscribe, share, and turn on the little bell so you don't miss our next videos. See you tomorrow.